All right, hello everyone. Today I will be giving a talk on the Swiss Army knife of Magento development. And basically, today I'll be talking about two new Magento developer tools. And given this is a conference with a lot of developers, a month ago, when I was asked to speak, I thought, what can I make that would help all of you guys on a daily basis? And I think, there's things that are tedious that we have to do that come up on a daily basis that can be solved with some extensions. So I thought long and hard, and I came up with a few extensions to solve some of these. Maybe another appropriate title for this talk would be Conquering Everyday Tasks with Magento Developer Tools. So these two extensions are designed to touch on things that you would deal with on a daily basis. So, it kind of reminds me of a story of how circuses, how they used to hold elephants down. Like if there was an elephant waiting to go onto the stage, waiting around, they'd just tie a rope to it, and they'd take like a cork, tie the rope around the cork, and they'd stick it in the ground. Like, an elephant weighing thousands of pounds, how could that tiny rope, pin that elephant down? And the answer is it can't pin it down. And so why is the elephant not like running off when it could just, easily just move a muscle and, pop, pull the cork out of the ground? And the reason is when the elephant is young, it's chained down with shackles, and and as over time, it just grows accustomed to those. And so when it has that really lightweight rope tied to it, it doesn't try to resist at all because it's always had that there. And granted, there's a thing or two in Magento like that. There's a thing or two that that ties us down that doesn't have to. So without further ado, let me explain these different extensions that help you on a daily basis. So the first extension is called the Magento Enhanced Debugger Tool. And what it's designed to do is, on a lot of times, when we're editing a page, what block is what PHTML file? What's the name of that block? Where in the XML do we need to look for that particular block? And so this Magento debugging hints extension, what you do once you install it, and all you have to do is move the files into your web root, flush the cache, turn off the full page cache, and type in debug hint into the URL. This is all really well documented in the documentation that comes with it. Load the page, and at the bottom, what you'll do is you'll see these words you can search for a block by entering a word. Like let's say right here, if I say about us, if I enter an about us in there and press search, it'll return this result right here and show us that this is this about us. Actually, it's not even in a layout file. This is a static block that's generating this. This is the name of the static block. If you had a core variable, it would tell you that too. And if you just had something that was, more kind of standard, those are kind of edge cases, so to speak, because, not many things on a page are like that, then it would just give you the template file name. You get the layout XML file right there, and if you wanted to rewrite the block, you get the actual node that you'd have to rewrite in order to change that block. And there's even let's say if you had a situation where let's just say there was more than one instance of something. Like let's say I open up, I want to find the block that this pager where my mouse is hovering over, where that is. I could put in something I found with if I were to open up like Chrome Developer Tools and copy and paste some HTML or JavaScript from there and put it right in, and I go and I see, it says there are multiple blocks that have that contain those same words. There's one that says product list toolbar and product list, and I say, oh, well, it's in the toolbar here, so I know that it's this one. I can go and I could copy and paste that right there into this by entering the name of the block, because we know that it's either one of these two names. So now I just enter in the name and press search, and oh, it looks like I left off an R at the end of there. There we go. And then it will go ahead and it will tell me the name of that one. And so you just, whatever you need, whatever you want to find, you can just go ahead and put it in there, and it will tell you exactly what files and that you need to edit. So I think that is really applicable to a lot of us on a daily basis, just being able to do it. And this can be used on every page on the Magento front end except for the checkout process, the one-page checkout process. And this extension also, it provides other information about the page as well, like the request information, controller name, action name, package, the current theme, and so on and so forth. It gives you a list of it's the product list page. It'll list all the products and the product ID and SKU, so you can easily look them up in the admin if you need to. I try to just pack in as many things as I could that have been relevant for me on a daily basis. And so the next extension is an attribute creator. And I know a lot of us, some sites we might create 20 or 30 attributes, some sites a couple hundred attributes. I was making a site for a company that was selling dental practices online, and they had hundreds of attributes. And so it's when you get that situation, attributes in Magento, this is something that it's a lot more code than it really needs to be. Like let's say if I want to create like one attribute, there's 10 lines of code here. I have to specify all these settings over there. I have, like for here, you can see all these attributes here. There's 15 lines of code just for that. Now, there's an easier way. There's an easier way to do it. And so what I did is I designed an extension where you don't have where a lot of times you can just use one line to create an attribute. Like look at this: add image uploader attribute, add PDF uploader attribute, add multi-select attribute, add text attribute, add text area attribute. And, bam, just in one line, what was, 15, you saved yourself, hundreds of lines of code, and you know that it's gonna work, and you don't have to double check, all the 15, settings to make sure it's right. Yeah, the only settings that you really that you have to think about are the ones that are specific to the entity type that you're working with. Let's say if you're creating a product attribute. Well, product attributes can be comparable. They can show in the layered, navigation. They could be searchable in the quick search box. The ones that are specific to like an attribute type, you have to specify those. Otherwise, we'll just set it to the default value. But only in those cases do you have to specify anything else besides just typing in the one line of code here. And so it's really even like, let's say if you're creating a more complex types of attributes, like let's say if you're creating a select attribute, a drop-down menu. In Magento, currently you have to say like array values, then another array or whatever it is. But now with this extension, you just have one line. You could just say options equals array, just standard array, pass it into the the add select attribute or add multi-select attribute, and which is being passed in right here, and bam, that's it. Just a simple array, no array values, another array inside of it. No, it's just real easy like that. And for the image uploader and PDF uploader, all the backend models and everything already exist within the module. So you can, create, image uploaders for category attributes, product, customer, whatever. And even, let's say, for creating customer attributes, it's a little easier. Yeah, it's easier than the normal, because normally, if let's say you want to add a customer attribute to a tab, you have to specify, what tabs you want to have it associated with. You have to, to set what forms it's used in. You don't have to, call, that, set, used in forms, and then, and then save the attribute individually. All it takes is you just pass it into the add, text area function, or the add text attribute function, and that's it. It creates it. And so, that's, and you can see there's just a lot of details with creating attribute that are just taken care of for you. Like, if I look at, let's say, if I go general prices and I see, decimal attribute and price attribute and integer. Like, if I type in something like into integer, I type in something with a decimal, which wouldn't be allowed, and press save. It tells me, please use numbers only in this field. The extension automatically puts in the right validation for an integer field. It puts in the right number of decimal places for a price, field, and so on and so forth. So there's a number of different, let's see here. There's a number of different functions that you have to choose from text areas, create WYSIWYG attribute, and so on and so forth, and the documentation lists all of them. So, that's it. And that is the two extensions here. And as you can see, this is what it looks like when, this code shown on these tabs has been run. You can see it, right here. So that is it. And let me give you the link to download this extension if you like. There you go. And if you go to that, page, I'll show you where it is on the Jamerson website. So if you go to jamerson.com and then you scroll, towards the bottom, and you see this innovative new Magento extensions for developers, click on that, and there's your extensions. You can download them; they're free. So go ahead, take advantage of them, and that's it. Thank you for your time.